Sláinte, howdy do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? This is going to be a 2 beers with the Beer Whisperer video, and I'm finishing off a couple beers that I picked up on vacation. Well, slightly over 3 months ago now. I really need to go through them. I gave quite a few away, just not drinking as much as I thought I was going to. Anyway, using my Jackie O's glass. I believe this is my last Mystic Mama West Coast style IPA from Jackie O's out of Athens, Ohio. Although I actually picked this up at a Jungle Gems in Cincinnati. Let me show you that can. It's at 7%. I do believe. Yep, 7%. Alrighty. And cilantro. Look at that color. That's a nice looking West Coaster. Oh, yeah. A lot of bright citrus on the nose. An orange zest, some grapefruit zest. Accented by some tropical fruit notes. Of course, that botanical or pine-like note is in there, right there at the finish. It's been several years ago now, but my brother was out from Washington, and he's not really an IPA drinker, more of a stout drinker. But I gave him an IPA, and he was taking a drink, and couldn't quite figure out what that was. He says, "Oh yeah, that's it. It's juniper." Well, him and his wife drink gin every once in a while, so he interpreted that what we would call pine note as juniper. So it's all very similar. I had a nice time. I wasn't at Jackie O's very long. I only had one beer there, but I bought several to go. Well, that's not true. I think I bought 5 to go, but they were all big barrel aged stuff anyways. Yeah, I bought a glass too. They saw me coming, man. They saw you coming. This one is so delicious. They might tell you have to drink these within a certain amount of time, but quite frankly, this doesn't taste like it lost a step at all. I know the hardcore IPA folks are, "Oh, Dub, you waited more than 90 days. Oh, my goodness." It didn't blow up. It didn't do anything funky. In fact, it tastes exactly how I remember it. I don't think it's lost a step at all. Of course, I don't have a fresh one to compare, but, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this beer. I was trying. I really was. I was trying to get through this stuff. In fact, I gave a significant portion away. I gave away a total of about 34 cans. Just about a case and a half. Yeah, because a lot of stuff I bought with friends in mind that I knew they would like that. And that's kind of what I like to do, is share the love. I mean, it's about propagating the love of craft beer and showing other folks different breweries they might not have had. That's what I enjoy doing. And this is one of the best West Coast style IPAs I've ever had, even though they're not on the West Coast. Although those of us that grew up during a certain time were always confused by that, because the Cincinnati Reds were always in the National League West. So, but I never, for a long time, didn't realize exactly where Ohio was. Because they were in the NL West for some unknown reason. Nobody quite knows why, but nevertheless. What do you mean Ohio's on East Coast? But they're in the National League West. Oh. A lot of great breweries out that way. Jackie O's being one of them. This beer is just outstanding. It was one of the favorites that I picked up. For me, for my particular taste, I really love this one. It hides that 7 rather well, and it gives you all those big flavors and aromas you want from a style like this. A lot of big citrus, accented by some light tropical fruit notes, and then that of course, that biting pine finish. So it gives you everything you want. I don't know that balance is the right word to describe a beer like this, but everything is put together in exactly the right place. It hits you at exactly the right spot on your palate, exactly what you want a beer like this to do. So there you go. Man, that's nice. Again, a nice mix of grapefruit and orange. That blend of citrus. Clean, dry finish that I personally enjoy, but I do realize I like a drier finish than most. Oh, man, that is delicious. That's just good, man. I don't care who you are. Anyways, I digress. But I'm going to be right back with beer number 2. So don't go away. All right, well, Slanch, and I'm back for beer number 2 with you. Staying in the theme, I'm staying with an IPA, but this one is the Midwest Red IPA from Mastehead Brewing. I didn't visit them. I actually picked this up at the Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati as well. But they are out of Cleveland, Ohio. It is 7.1%, 60 IBUs. And some of you may not believe this, those of you of a certain age, but there was a time when most IPAs were this color. If you looked at an old beer color chart, this is the color they're going to show you an IPA being. No, I'm not kidding. Anyways, I do love the red IPA because even though I don't like the name, I'd rather it be called a hoppy red. Because how are we red and pale at the same time? Nevertheless, I love the style because I love the big malt that goes along with it. Springfield Brewing has a great hobby red called Hop Lobster that I just love. But it's not quite as big as this one. When I picked up this one, I thought, oh my God, this beer is gorgeous. That's 7.1. Oh my goodness. And I looked at the canned on date and it was 9/10 of 24. So as of now, again, another one that I've hung on to for a little bit. But it was only, it was maybe 2.5 weeks old when I picked it up. I think it was the 27th, September 27th when I bought it at the Jungle Gyms. I didn't realize that it was right out fresh at that moment in time. A beautiful nose on this. It must be irritating my wife. She put the things in her ears. She can't hear me now. Oh man! I don't think this has lost anything either. It gives me those big flavors and aromas that I like. Big and malty. Yet hop nicely. Kind of a different set of hops. I don't know what they're using here. Our definition of balance. Yeah, I was going to say that. This beer, red in color with notes of tangerine, stone fruit, and hoppy dankness. Yeah, it is very dank. Tangerine and stone fruit. Yeah, I'll go with that. A lot of big tangerine notes. Stone fruit. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to say somewhere between, or a combination of peach and apricot as far as stone fruit goes. Maybe a little bit of plum note in there as well, actually. And I let that settle a second on my palate. Yeah. supported by a hefty malt backbone. Yeah, and that's why I like a beer like this. Because it's not like drinking hop water like so many IPAs are today. It gives you that nice malt body. Oh, beautiful. It reminds me of just several beers that I've had in the past. Again, I brought up that memory of the Hop Lobster. Um, Grand Teton had a beer way back when called Pursuit of Hoppiness, which was a double or imperial hoppy red. I think it was like at 9% something. I can't remember now. It's been many years. It's been over a decade since I've had it, but boy, that was a great beer. So anytime I see anything called a red IPA or a hoppy red, I buy them because it brings back a lot of memories for me. And again, finishes drier than you might expect, which I like. But I will say once again that I do tend to like a drier finish than most. Younger folks seem to like the beers a little sweeter than I do. Being an old man, being old that I am, us old guys are having a hard time coming to grips with the fact that we are no longer the demographic. That breweries are no longer making beer for our old palates, right? You got a lot of us old grumpy guys complaining about, well, why aren't you doing this? Well, we're making what's selling, and you old guys just aren't getting out like you used to. Which is the truth. So, I mean, there are times I walk, especially on vacation, I went into several breweries and I was looking at the menu going, what am I going to order? I always found something. But the older I get, I find that I'm going back, right? I'm gravitating more towards classic styles. A lot of breweries are getting away from that because, again, that's not where the demographic is. You've got folks that want, sours and milkshakes and all sorts of crazy flavors and kombucha. And that's not what I'm looking for, man. Even in an IPA, I'm not looking for what's trendy or what's popular these days. So, I've got to come to grips with the fact that breweries aren't making beer for me anymore. I'm not paying their bills. You got these younger folks, and that's what they're making beer for. But I did find a lot of great breweries. I always found one good beer wherever. But there were a couple of times looking at menus going, huh. They're clearly not making beer for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily have anything against those styles. They're just not for me, to be honest with you. Every once in a while, I'll have one that I like or can tolerate, but it's just not my preferred style. And I feel like the older I get, the more I gravitate towards classic or traditional styles. So when I find an IPA like this that kind of harkens back to the IPAs of old, when I was a young craft beer drinker, this beer is absolutely gorgeous. I also picked up, I think it was an espresso stout from them that was just insanely good as well. Uh, anyways, I digress. This has been Two Beers with the Beer Whisperer. So my first beer, let's recap, was the Jackie O's Mystic Mama, a West Coast style IPA that is just spot on. Beer number two from Mastehead out of Cleveland, Midwest Red IPA, and this thing it just does the style justice. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you like an IPA that has some malt in it, then I would recommend this beer highly to you. So there you go. Ah, beautiful. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and oh man, I really like this beer, man. All around good guy, salute ya.